Did these guests make you see red? Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most hated guests on This Morning. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at all the guests both the public and the presenters didn't take kindly to. Number 10, the off-grid parents.
He doesn't react well to it.
What about education?
Education, we are taking the unschooling route at the moment.
They became infamous after coming on the show to talk about their approach to parenting, which is relaxed, to say the least. The Brighton-based couple discussed their philosophy, which involves giving their kids no rules, no school, and no medicine, including vaccinations. Instead, they let their kids get sick and treat it homeopathically. Adele even says one of their children had scarlet fever.
Childhood disease is quite important to experience to build the child's immunity.
Even more controversially, they reveal their 5-year-old son is still breastfed, and they let their toddler do a wee on the studio floor. It's not surprising that the public had a lot of opinions about the family, and some viewers even called social services on them.
It's not about grasping hold of happiness and saying, this is happiness. It's exposing yourself to the whole plethora of emotions.
Number 9, sex for Rent Landlord.
I'm seeking an arrangement. I'm very honest in what I say.
This guest was so controversial, he was kept anonymous and was only filmed from behind. The landlord was interviewed after it came out that there was an increase in the UK of sex for rent cases, which isn't only considered unethical, its legality is also up for debate. The landlord, Simon, explains that he has an arrangement with his tenants, and everything is consensual, but this doesn't make people like the idea anymore.
It's just going back a few decades. Most relationships in the Victorian, the Edwardian eras were arranged.
Holly points out that the law isn't necessarily on his side, and offering accommodation in exchange for sex could land him in prison, but he continues to claim he's doing nothing wrong.
I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm doing nothing wrong. It's
But
an
you
arrangement
are.
between two... No, I'm not.
Number 8, Carla Bellucci.
I'm going to stand by what I've said. I did bend the truth to get a nose job.
No, you
on
lied.
the NHS. I lied. Yeah, I'm going to take the backlash. I lied.
If there's one thing Brits don't take kindly to, it's the suggestion that someone might be ripping off the NHS, which was why glamour model Carla Bellucci got obliterated in the tabloids and on social media. It came out that she got a nose job on the NHS for claiming the appearance of her nose was affecting her mental health, and freely admitted to lying about having depression to doctors to get the procedure.
I literally just said that I wasn't happy about my nose. It made me feel unhappy in day-to-day life. It did get me a bit depressed and down, which was an exaggeration of the truth. I've never been clinically depressed.
Though Bellucci argues she did nothing wrong, because it's the responsibility of the doctors to check a patient actually needs surgery, Philip points out that she did flirt with the doctors as well as consistently lie to them.
But maybe there is cracks in the system. Maybe they need to be revealed, and maybe I am revealing them cracks, that something does need to be done. I'm not saying what I done was right. I'm saying I don't live in regret.
So you're doing us a
whatever I
favour?
done. Wouldn't say it's a favour.
Number 7, Melinda Messenger.
I did a little bit of research, and the little bit of research that I did do caused some alarm bells to ring.
In many countries, the UK included, the anti-vaxxer movement is growing, and Melinda Messenger is one such anti-vaccination parent. She came on the show to talk about her distrust of the HPV vaccine, which is designed to reduce the risk of many types of cancer, mainly cervical cancer. Messenger says she doesn't trust the vaccine because it's new and its long-term effects aren't yet known.
I just had email after email, letter after letter, and you just can't ignore
Okay, so there's some...
Dr. Chris slams her for putting her children at risk, while Dr. Zoe points out that cancer rates without the vaccine are significantly higher than the rate of vaccine side effects. But Messenger won't budge.
Autoimmune disease, respiratory disorders, gastrointestinal disorders, autoimmune system disorders, death.
Number 6, David Cassidy.
I am doing it because I'm in the middle of a divorce with my ex-wife, and that's the only reason I did it.
In late 2018, Ruth and Eamon named and shamed the celebrity they considered to be the worst guest they've ever interviewed. Musician David Cassidy. Cassidy thinks he's in for a regular interview, but things take a turn for the worse when Ruth and Eamon begin to ask difficult and personal questions about his debts and recent bankruptcy claim.
Are you just here to... Are you here to rubbish me?
No,
is that
David, I'll tell you what we're here to do.
He accuses them of trying to rubbish him with these questions. And when they ask how supportive his fans have been throughout his ordeal, he starts talking about his divorce and shouts at Ruth to be quiet when she interrupts him.
Of course, and it's more
And
difficult,
it's a difficult
so
journey
publicly.
when you... Wait. Don't interrupt me.
Number 5, Samantha Brick.
It's really difficult when you're perceived as being attractive.
It was journalist Samantha Brick's infamy that got her invited onto This Morning for an interview in the first place, after she penned a Daily Mail column claiming that other women all hate her because she's too beautiful.
Do I think I'm attractive?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Psychologist Emma Kenny says that she doesn't know any women who actually think this way and resent others for their looks. But Brick is adamant that she's widely disliked because she's pretty, not because of the way she comes across as arrogant for writing the column in the first place. Even Ruth suggests that Brick's attitude might be more to blame.
But to actually come out loud and say it and put it in print and say, you know, I am a beautiful woman, does have a certain arrogance about it. And then...
Number 4, Joe Marney.
You meant what you said?
I meant what I said, that there is an issue
That it was a
with...
nest of illegal immigrants?
No, that I think there's an issue with illegal immigration in this country.
In early 2018, Joe Marney, the girlfriend of ex-UKIP leader Henry Bolton, was lambasted in the press when some comments she made in private about Meghan Markle were leaked. The issue was that Marney's comments were incredibly racist.
You described black people as ugly. You suggested that Meghan would taint the royal family because she is mixed race. I mean, you know, you just don't sound like a very nice person.
It doesn't sound very nice, no.
Though she says that they were taken out of context, it's difficult to imagine what an appropriate context would be, as she said some equally offensive things about the Me Too movement and about the victims of the Grenfell Tower tragedy. Marney listens to Phil read her own comments back to her, including the use of racial slurs, but her only defense is that she meant to shock.
I've never said anything like that in my life.
You might not have said anything like that, but who can say that you never said anything remotely offensive?
Number 3, Cheryl Prudham.
I think the thing that also seems to get under a lot of people's skin is the fact that you are unapologetic. You don't...
I've got nothing to be sorry for.
Dubbed the country's most shameless mum in the press, when she came on the show in 2016, Prudham had 12 kids and was considering a 13th. She made headlines by claiming £40,000 a year in child benefits and working tax credits, £10,000 over the national household income, and using that money not only to take her kids on holiday, but also to get a boob job.
Why do you want to have a boob job?
Because I just like a ridiculous size. So.
Prudham says she's got nothing to be sorry for because at the end of the day, she's not claiming fraudulently and is only doing what the government let her. But the vast majority of people didn't see it that way.
Do you think about that a little bit?
Not really, no. I think about my kids and my family and that's it.
Number 2, Kim Woodburn.
You've got the wrong... You didn't watch the show for 24 hours. Don't start with me. I'll start on you. Now listen to me.
Her long and successful television career took a downward turn after her disastrous appearance on Celebrity Big Brother, going in late and making enemies of all the other housemates, particularly Colleen Nolan.
I know Colleen. I actually think that she won it because she's a nice person.
She's a horrible person.
She came on This Morning to defend herself, but managed to make the general public dislike her even more by being hostile and belligerent as she talked to Phil and Holly. She's especially angry about the suggestion she should have cleaned up after the other housemates, since she did make her name in TV by going around and cleaning other people's houses, and being asked how much she was paid for her appearance.
I may be 74. Don't mess with me.
I wouldn't.
Number 1, who else? Katie Hopkins.
And I would say that's because looks still matter. You know, if somebody walks into a room, you have an immediate impression of what you think that person's able to do.
She gets people's blood boiling no matter what platform or medium she appears in. And this notorious daytime interview was no different. Appearing a few years before she cemented her reputation as Britain's most hated public figure, Katie came on to debate whether you can tell a child's class based on their name, much to the ire of everyone else in the studio.
A name for me is a shortcut. It's a really efficient way of working out what class that child comes from. Do I want my children to play with them?
She goes as far as to say she doesn't want her children to be friends with kids who have names she deems working class. But this was ultimately overshadowed when she declared she also hates geographical names, prompting Phil to point out her daughter is named India.
Oh, so Brooklyn or London.
Your child's called India?
Yes, but you know, that's because it's not...
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.